A little over 3 years ago, I started on a journey to try to compare as many 1/0 OFC cable as I could, because as you know, we have a lot of cable out there that's just way too thin, some that seems way oversized. I wanted some way to compare these, and it has been quite a journey. I have 4 more competitors to add to the list, but we're also going to talk about what the list is, what it does tell you, and what it does not tell you. So without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Yeah, I just want to be the greatest.
So let's talk about the 1/0 OFC cheat sheet, what it is and what it isn't. What it is a way to compare one brand directly to another as far as the weight of copper. Now, of course, the best way to do this would be run electricity through it, but you and I both know the cost of copper is expensive, wire is not cheap, and to do over 35 brands, I think I'm at now, at a 20-foot length, that would be quite an expensive undertaking. So for my purposes, doing a 6-inch length of weight and then extrapolating how much copper is in there is the easiest way to do that. So take these comparisons for what they are. We're weighing copper weight here. We're not checking the conductivity of all of these wires. You know, that may be something that I do with a few brands in the future. With all that being said, let's jump into the 4 competitors I have. Let's talk about them a little bit. We'll open them up, see what they got. We're going to start with another piece of welding cable. This one is actually Windy Nation. So I've had a few people ask me about this. I've picked up some of this wire. I figured why not do it? Although I will say that I'm not going to do every single welding cable, because these should all adhere to American wire gauge standard. These do have a regulation, but for you guys, I'm going to test Windy Nation because people seem to like it. Next up, we've got, let me read it here, Xscorpion. So this wire, you know, it seems maybe a little thin, who knows? It does claim a 4,214 strand count, which is pretty decent. That's, you know, pretty standard 1/0 stuff, you know, maybe a little bit oversized. The jacket seems kind of thick, but we will see once we cut it open. Another contender here is kind of a budget contender. This is the Atrih. Let's see if we can get it there, the Atrih wire. And this seems pretty true to spec. The jacket is kind of super flexible. I don't like the rubbery feel of it though. It's shiny. It's okay though. I have used this wire and it's not too bad. I use it on my bench. So we will cut this open and see as well. And out of the 4, this one seems to be the thickest. It boasts the biggest strand count. Conext Link wire. It says it has 4,753 strands of tinned copper. And this one by far looks the beefiest, but there's only one way to tell. So before we cut these all up and actually weigh the copper in them, we'll do a little bend test over on the bench. We'll check them out, see what I think about flexibility. We'll cut them open, see how much copper they hold inside. We will also see how thick the jacket is compared to the copper, weigh it all, and we will update the 1/0 OFC cheat sheet. So let's take this over to the bench. We're going to start off with the flexibility test. This is just, you know, a subjective test, me twisting it up and seeing how flexible I think it is compared to most wire. Although I will say most of the car audio wire is really pretty flexible with a few outliers. Let's start with the Windy Nation, which is 1/0 welding cable. And as you know, most 1/0 welding cable is not very flexible, and this is exactly the same. It's flexible enough to use, of course, but if you have some really tight bends, this might not be the wire for you. If you need a really flexible welding cable, look at FlexWhip, because it is very flexible. Next up is the Atrih, which has the kind of shiny jacket, so you may love that or hate it, but either way, it's there. And this one is very, very flexible. No problem getting in super tight bends at all. And like I said before, I actually use this on my test bench over here because how flexible it is. The Xscorpion is up next, and it has a matte, softer finish jacket, which I do like a lot better than the shiny, and it too is very flexible. And I'm going to say it's basically on par with the Atrih as far as flexibility goes, maybe just slightly less flexible. Enough to notice the difference to most people? Probably not. Now we have the Conext Link, and it as well is very flexible, although you can tell this one is a little bit thicker, has a little bit more wire because it is slightly less flexible, but not too much. I think these are all right in the same ballpark. Alright, let's get the actual copper weight here on the Windy Nation. Looks like we have 64 grams. Now the jacket weight, 16.4 grams. And let's check the jacket thickness, 2.52, 2.34. So this is fairly uniformed. Now for the overall thickness, we'll take the other end of the piece, and it looks like we're about 14 millimeters. Yep, almost on the money, so 14 millimeters. Now we're on to the Atrih 1/0 wire. So we'll go with the total weight, 85.4 grams. Now let's check the copper weight, 70.1 grams. We will check the jacket weight, 15.3 grams. Now let's check the jacket thickness. Looks like we got 2.5 millimeters on the left side, 2.1 on the middle, or in the middle, and about 2.5 on the right side. We'll grab the other piece over here and do the outside. 14.8. Let's get the total weight on the Conext Link, 95.1 grams. All right, let's see how much the copper weight is on the Conext Link. 73.9 grams. Let's check out the jacket weight. 21.1 grams. And let's check the overall thickness. 15.17. A little thinner on this side. Let's go with 15.1. We'll check the actual jacket thickness itself. On the left side, we're about 3.3 millimeters. In the middle, we're almost exactly the same, 3.3 millimeters. Let's get the full weight on the Xscorpion, 83.3 grams. Let's check the copper weight on the Xscorpion, 62.9 grams. Check the jacket weight, 20.5 grams. Let's check the jacket thickness, 2.9 millimeters on the left, about 3 millimeters. Let's check the overall thickness here. We're about 15 millimeters on it. All right, let's talk about the 4 contenders that we had today, and 2 of these I can pretty much highly recommend. The other 2, you know, maybe not so much. Xscorpion, I think, is definitely a dud. Really stay away from this one. Windy Nation it's just 1/0 welding cable. So it's basically the standard size that 1/0 welding cable is at a more expensive price. So if you're looking at Windy Nation, just get Timco. It's cheaper, and it's basically the same thing. So with that being said, we have 2 left. Let's talk about the Atrih first. If you're on a budget and you just need the cheapest wire you can get that's still going to be acceptable, I think the Atrih is going to speak to you. So at roughly $175 for 50 foot of this, it's a pretty good deal, although ordering directly from the website, you will have to pay shipping, so you're going to have to factor that in. Even with that being said, that still makes this some of the most affordable 1/0 OSC you can buy right now. I say go ahead and give it a try. If you're looking for something that's the absolute cheapest wire you can get, because you're going to get a lot of it, it's pretty well sized, it's above American wire gauge standard, I think this is going to do the trick for you. That being said, we have the next contender, the number 1 contender out of these 4 anyways, the Conext Link. And for me, at $110 for 25 foot or $220 for 50 foot, I think this is a really, really good deal. Not only because it's got a nicer jacket than the Atrih, it's also tinned. And if you need a tinned wire, or you want a tinned wire, I think that this is a really good value, and this might actually be my budget pick going forward for someone that wants pretty good wire at a really good price. Being tinned, that kind of puts this over the edge for me. So yeah, I'm kind of shocked that this wire is so good, but at 110 bucks, I think it's well worth it for 25 foot now. So you're looking at 220. I will have affiliate links for most of these below. Obviously, the Atrih is not an affiliate link because it's directly from their website, but this is on Amazon, and if you have Amazon Prime, shipping is not going to cost you anything, so it's going to make it a little bit cheaper than some of the other brands. And I think even at this price, you would get it shipped free anyways from Amazon, so definitely check this out. That's as far as these 4 go. Conext Link is definitely the winner, with Atrih a close runner-up on second. The only thing I really don't like about the Atrih is the shiny jacket, but you know, you may like that. So with these wire comparisons and this cheat sheet, I'm hoping to give you sort of a guide to use in your own purchases. Don't use this guide to beat someone over the head online and say, hey, HifiVega tested this wire and said this one had more copper than this. That is so not the point of this wire comparison. This wire comparison is to help the community, not try to beat someone over the head because they prefer one brand over the other. So with great copper power comes great responsibility. Be a chill guy, and let's just enjoy car audio. So with all that being said, I hope you did enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy stuff like this, and if you do, why don't you hit that subscribe button, hit the little bell, and let me know that you actually care. I hope to catch every single one of you on the next video. Shout out to all my Patreon supporters, but I want to give a special shout out to the $6 or more members: 2001 Monolithic, Gene Nava, Joaquin Juarez, El Fuego Audio, Travis McClendon, Brandon Hanna, William Berg, Boxboy Audio Sound Solutions, Jesus Tires, Dennis Cromwell Jr., Scott Dilbeck, D. Stewart, Aaron Waltz, David Kozlik, Scott McCord, Matthew Toberg, Debo Bass, Cornut, Trucker 9000, Bobby Burkett, Kevin Lautner, The Car Audio Guy, James Childers, Baba, and Thomas Marshall. For as little as $2 a month, you can join the team and get access to behind-the-scenes content, as well as an exclusive Patreon-only podcast. If any of this sounds interesting to you, check me out at patreon.com/HifiVega.